I've had an interesting week because I got mum home from hospital just before last week's call, and I have managed to get almost nothing done in the last week. And I'm noticing lots of old programming coming up, going, oh, I'm resenting mum because I'm not getting any work done and I'm having to wait on a hand and foot. And then I'm going, well, actually, I can't blame my mum. It's not her fault. She's had this operation. So then I'm going, oh, I'll beat myself up instead then. And then I go, well, I've lost over 60 pounds. So I'll just go and do a bit of emotional eating. I haven't been, but I'm noticing that's what's coming up. And it's been an amazing week for learning, because although I really do want to beat myself up for getting literally nothing, well, almost nothing done, it's just really interesting to learn or be the observer of all the old programs over the last 6 years that got me from quite successful with 6 businesses to basically homeless, broke and fat as a house. So it's been a real, I don't know, it's just been such an eye-opener. Before you answer, I'm just going to say the other thing, because I'll forget otherwise, if you don't mind. The other thing is, we'd spoken about social media and everything, and I'd spoken to a friend of mine who's got all the TV contacts, and she's like, yeah, get on this and do that and social media. And I actually set all that up, a Facebook page and everything, and I went back on Instagram and all that stuff. And it felt horrible. I actually had a physical reaction, as in I could feel all the chemicals come up going, this is not my path. This is not what Spirit's told me to do. This is not the way I've been told to do it. And then my head comes in and go, but hang on, I respect Skip and I respect these other people, and they've said do it that way. And then I've had this like head and heart battle, because my head is going, well, you listen to your mentors, otherwise what's the point of having them? And my heart's going, yeah, but that's not how it's going to happen. That's not how you've seen it. Skip might have seen it like that, but I'm going, but I'm not Skip. I've seen it like this. So that's been amazingly interesting and left me quite confused for the reasons I've just said, because I respect what you say and what's working for you, but that's not what Spirit's telling me to do at all.
Right. So here's what I get. And it's similar to what was going on with Susan on the call this afternoon, where she was in a dip as well. And it happens to a lot of people, because what happens is, when you go into a certain frequency, certain thoughts, certain feelings, certain information will become apparent to us in that frequency. And the mind will play every single trick on us. Because if I ask you this question now, you already know the answer. Where's this coming from? Spirit, mind, or body?
Oh, the mind's getting involved. That's why I said I can see it. I'm watching it.
Yeah. And the mind will say, well, you know, Spirit's telling you this and that. It's like the mind can never get what the Spirit says. It's not meant to. The heart is, and the body is. That's why we have to go with the feeling. Does it feel good in the body? Now, this is what I want everybody to understand, because there's a trap where the very thing that we need to do can sometimes come with resistance. I'll give you an idea. Let me explain. So, when I was training with Svetlor, my gymnastics coach, I'll take it all the way back to the day, because it's the easiest explanation that I can give that I think will work for you. Where we knew what we wanted. The goal was simple. The goal was to win the English Championships. And when we started that journey, I had no clue what I was about to embark on. Because for me, I'm just focused on being a champion. I had no clue what it took to become a champion, because I'm just looking at the outcome. I'm not looking at the journey. I'm just thinking I just want to stand on that podium and be the best person in the UK. It was all ego that got me to ego, but also wanted to be just the best that I could be, and to push myself harder than anyone else could ever push me, even with a world-class coach pushing me, so that I could just, discover what was possible. Now, even though I had a great coach, even though I was super clear on what the outcome was, even though I was disciplined to do the training, do you think that there were days when my brain was going, you don't have to go and train today. just have a day off. One day off isn't gonna change a thing. And I would lie in bed and be seduced by my own brain. And when I look back, and if I look back with intelligence and I think, right, the only thing that no one can ever get back is time. Everything else we can get back. We can get health back, money back, love back, work back, job back, opportunities back. Everything we can get back, but none of us can get time back. So when I look back, I was like, wow, I wonder how much time I wasted thinking in my head, and the thoughts were, you don't have to go to the gym. You really don't. And I would lie there just spinning around in these thoughts, screwing my life up. But because I was in that frequency and I didn't know what I know now, that is just like swimming in the sewers. You're never going to get anywhere. And what I learned was, when you come out of it and you're in a high frequency, and then you can look back and you realize that, right, I just don't want to make any of these decisions from the mind. I want to tell the mind what it is that we're doing, and I couldn't give a flying if the mind is saying, I can't do it, not good enough, time is not right, social media is screwed up, I don't want to be on these platforms, I don't want to do this, Skip's saying this, he's got a different vision of me, that's kind of how it is. Because otherwise what happens is we stay there, and the faster you can get out of it, you realize that the mind has claws, the mind has like suckers, and the mind can come and get you because your mind knows you better than anything. You know why? You have put everything in it, whether you're aware of it or not. So what we now need to start putting in it is the stuff that's really, really going to serve. So now let's ask the question. Do you need to be on social media platforms to launch a book?
Yeah.
So how can you be on social media platforms and love it? Because that's the secret ingredient. You have to love it.
Giving it a different meaning, that's all.
So what's
It's got a certain meaning at the moment. What I love about this week is the fact that I'm very aware of what it is. I'm watching myself doing it.
Yeah.
Where, like 3 months ago, I'd have gone, that was a crap week.
Yeah.
And not really had a clue why. But now I'm kind of at that level where I can see everything I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and all the crap that my mind is trying to feed me.
Yeah.
Because the ego tries to protect itself, doesn't it? It fears annihilation, and everything that we're doing with the activations and the way we choose to live is almost, it's a bit strong word, but almost anti-ego, isn't it? So, and the ego's going, hang on a minute, what are you doing? I can't possibly die. You need me. You need me.
Yeah, and I've got a great. Who taught me this? I don't know where this came from. Real simple, like sort of slogan for ego. Edging God out. It's that simple. If we look at God as the source of life, or the universe as the source of life, but you know, some people obviously had a weird association to God, but I'm talking about the source of all life, being the universe, intelligence, source energy, whatever. If that's where life is at, when ego comes in, ego is like the competitive energy. What we want to be connected to is the competitive energy. Is the creative energy. Because if we're in the competitive energy, we cut off the creative energy. If we go in the creative energy, we get the source of life breathing through us. So anytime that ego is involved, all it's doing is that it's just edging life slightly away from us. But it will seduce the hell out of us in ways where it's like, oh, it looks good over there. Or it will do something saying, oh, no, don't do this because this is bad. And what it does, because ultimately what it wants to do is to keep you in your comfort zone. That's it. You're never going to be able to launch this book in your comfort zone. The whole teachings around this is for you to be comfortable and take an action outside of your comfort zone. It's the hardest thing for most people to take.
Oh yeah, well that is why I went and changed the banner on my personal thing and did some posting and got the algorithm of Facebook going again and set up a page and changed my Instagram name and I've done all that. But my point was I could feel the chemicals going, oh, it's social media.
This is what I want you to understand. Who created the chemicals?
Well, my body's creating the chemicals.
What were the chemicals? Let's just go positive or negative, negative, black or white.
Negative.
Yeah. So did the body create the chemicals or did the mind create the chemicals?
Well, the mind, because they're really, aren't they created by the brain anyway, aren't they?
Yeah. So that's what we need to understand, to be clear on that, is that the mind is creating the stuff that is stopping you from doing what you need. And the first point of any change is have an awareness. You've got this awareness. This is epic. This is awesome. Most people don't get the awareness. So what we need to make sure we've got is that through that awareness, we can then go and take a different action step. So what's the action step?
What's the action step? Well, I'm just getting on with it. That's what I mean. I'm pushing through it, doing stuff anyway.
Yeah, because as soon as we program ourselves with, and I know for some people using the word program is a bit sort of computery, and they don't want to think of themselves as, oh, I don't want to be programmed. Well, we don't program ourselves, a broken society will. That's just fact.